A blur for me, to be honest with you.
I mean, it's just weird because when you look at the last 2 years, you're like, damn. I do that all the time. Like, I'd be like, oh, this happened. I'd be like, and I look back at like photos and shit, and I'd be like, damn, like, this shit was 2018. Oh yeah, I've been seeing that. A lot of people talking about that. All right, man. We here.
Recording?
Yeah, we're recording.
Okay.
Because I just thought you said something interesting in the last pod when we wrapped up the decade, and I thought it was interesting that you said that 2018 and 2019 were kind of a blur, which I agree. And so I just wanted to, I know we talked about it on individual pods, but just want to kind of touch base on a couple things real quick that happened in 2019.
Yeah.
That was interesting. OJ joined Twitter.
The juice is loose.
With one of the catchiest bios I've seen on Twitter. Hello, Twitter world. It's yours truly, which he says every time he does a video, which is actually pretty good branding.
Is he the original troll? Is he the original troll?
I don't know about
Culture,
in
terms of troll.
But his bio is hello, Twitter world. It's yours truly. If you don't see it here, I didn't say it.
Damn.
I don't know, man. That regardless of what you think about OJ, I just think that's just funny as fuck.
He represents America, man. You can get off of potentially killing two people and be famous as fuck and still win.
Well, that's the funny thing. If you look at the past, and again, you know, the last episode,
you can lose to win.
Too, if you look at everything in hindsight, you would lose a lot of money if you made the bet. Eddie Murphy on SNL said he had a joke where he said, if you would have bet me in 1980 when he did Eddie Murphy Raw, he said, if you would have bet me that I'd be a stay-at-home dad relaxing my kids and Bill Cosby would be at jail, I wouldn't even take that bet.
No.
And it's just crazy.
It's a real world we live in, man.
But really quick, because I know we talked about other pods, but it's just a couple things that happened in
OJ came out. Oh, no, we talked about OJ coming out in 2017, but OJ started to Twitter, and Bill Cosby went to jail.
Yeah.
In 2019.
Yeah. And Meek got out.
Yeah, Meek Mill
got out right before Cosby. They both
like a week
before. It's a Philly thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You couldn't have two prominent black people in Philadelphia in jail at the same time.
And Weinstein is walking 2020.
Yeah, man. Sometimes you gotta pay to play, man.
Oh, but here's the thing. He's not using none of his money.
Yeah, I know.
That's crazy, right?
It's crazy.
Hey, if you're a white man with influence.
What's he using? The company's money?
Yeah. You're suing the company. I guess not so much. I don't know. He got great lawyers, obviously.
Yeah.
So his lawyers allowing him to more or less have the company pay for his fuck-ups, and they can't sue him going forward. And he did the exact same.
Yeah, wouldn't that be double jeopardy?
You call it what you want. I know the clause said that they can't. Because I'm not a lawyer.
Oh, once they settle?
They can't sue him going forward. So, you know. And Cosby is in jail. So, hey, man, this is America, man.
Yo, so, all right, couple highlights of 2019.
Ain't no white man getting losing in Me Too. Come on. They're not.
That's true.
Name one.
I don't know one, actually. Wait, let me just make sure this wasn't in 2018. I can edit this out real quick.
Just while I stay my ass at home.
Exactly.
When did that the Jussie Smollett thing? That was what?
That was last year.
That was 2019.
2019.
Juicy.
Juicy Smollett.
When did that incident happen?
2019, right?
Incident. Let me just double check. I just want to make sure I got my years right. 'Cause like you said, it's a blend.
It's a blur, bro. So much shit.
Oh yeah, it was. I think it was winter 2019. So all right. So 2019, looking back, Jussie Smollett situation happens in Chicago, which we all called before it happened. And you know what's funny? That's why you gotta start paying us for insights. I was telling one of my coworkers, she was like, "How did you know?" A couple weeks before, I was like, it was 0 degrees in Chicago. Who you think is going out to rob somebody. And
who's getting a Subway sandwich in
and she
sub-zero
was like,
degree weather?
oh wow, that makes sense. And I was like,
Wearing a Make America Great Again hat.
Right.
I know, right?
Even racist people ain't that racist
And
to go kill you in
he knows,
sub-degree weather.
and they know what empire is
You got to be super racist to want to fuck somebody up like that
in the winter.
In the winter.
That whole shit was dumb.
R. Kelly's Gail interview.
Oh, that classic. Oh, that was classic.
I feel like that's gonna be a moment that people are gonna look back on, and it's gonna be a moment.
Ultimate meltdown.
Ultimate. Trump impeachment. We kind of talked about this on the last pod, but at the end of 2019, he's being impeached, and this whole, the fake news and kind of Analytica trial and everything with Facebook.
Right.
I think the point of this pod was to look at a couple things and say, how is this going to influence marketing and culture in 2020 and beyond? And
For the next decade, right?
And I think AD, you brought up a good point at the end of the last pod. Fake news and people trusting the information that they're getting from the internet and regulation. Do you think brands and news are going to be more regulated moving forward?
I think,
like, especially with influencer culture, that's also what we talked about.
Here's the thing.
You think super influencers are going to? I know I'm asking you a bunch of questions.
News is supposed. Okay, let me rephrase that. Good journalism supposed to be based off research and facts.
Yeah.
The reality of it is, most people don't care two fucks about facts. They only care about what sounds good and what's compelling.
What about good marketing?
That's the point I'm about to go to. Marketing was never based off facts. It's based off insights that you can use to tell a good story.
And we live in a headline culture.
Yeah.
So people might just read the headline.
That's it.
And don't even read the whole article.
Which is more like clickbait, right? So
Yeah.
I think going forward, it's a continuation of what's going on now. Whoever can capture your attention at that moment, either through a good headline, a meme, some weird video, fake news, good news, anything that's going to capture people's attention for that moment, that's what's going to win. And it doesn't matter if it's truthful or factual or not. It's about that, does this content that's been put out, regardless from an influencer or a brand or whomever, does it capture enough attention to win the moment? Because the moments change literally. Forget the day. We're talking about winning the moment. Like, what happens in the moment, what happens in the morning has nothing to do with what happens, like, by the end of the day. It's completely, like, some different shit.
Well, I think to add to that, you mentioned storytelling.
Yeah.
A lot of these things have become these big momentous issues that have happened in 2019 because of the storytelling behind it. Like, if you think of the Cambridge Analytica situation, people kind of, some people grew up. Not even say grew up. Sorry, let me rewind that. People have learned to love Facebook, and it's become a part of their
life.
And then now
it's the new telephone.
And then now you find out that a company took all your data from this company you loved and gave all your data to, and now they're using it for.
Imagine Verizon when they did that back in the days, right? Like, because Facebook is kind of like the new telephone. It's a new utility, right? Imagine if any of those utility companies took your data and, I don't know, some foreign entity used that to swear election. Like, man, dude, that'd have been like the scandal of the decade. It don't even matter now.
Well, I think that kind of brings us to a new, that's a good segue, 2020, and kind of California being this test subject of they have a new data privacy law that's going into effect, and
GDPR basically.
Yeah, and I think a lot of these laws in states and other counties may not take effect within the whole country, but it starts to influence, I think, how other states see themselves. And I think it's a big step. Basically, you can choose. I think you can. Let me look it up. Basically the CCPA. And let me just pull up what I'll put this article in our bio and info so you could do a little bit more research. But basically, I just want to pull up what it does and how I think it's going to affect 2020 and beyond.
Well, as I mentioned about GDPR, or General Data Protection Regulation, that came from the EU. So this is like, I guess, the EU trying to add regulations to our privacy. And that's probably the reason why when you open up a browser, you see when they're asking about cookies, or this site requires cookies, they have to kind of they have to let you know that they're tracking you, right? As well as you have the right to go back and, erase all that data, right? Or right to erasure.
So the CCPA, and Rose, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are, because I know, media, like, I would love to know how you think this is going to affect media and marketing moving forward. But essentially, the CCPA allows any California consumer to demand to see all the information that a company has saved on them, as well as a full list of all the third parties that data is shared with. And California law allows consumers to sue the company if the privacy guidelines are violated, even if there is no breach. And I believe, it doesn't say here, but I believe you can also request that company can delete the data.
Yeah, well, once we start talking about suing people, I think the game kind of like changes, right? So it might be, one of those instances, right? So like as an advertiser, like we have to abide by in media, we have to abide by GDPR per what AD had kind of called out. There's like brand safety, viewability. So you have companies like IAS, you have companies like Double Verify, who kind of are supposed to be those guys that kind of measure this activity, right? I think what just happens though for marketers and advertisers is like you just tighten up. Well, it's kind of twofold, because it's like, I am McDonald's and I am trying to go to the marketplace with whatever this product is, or this creative, whatever this product is, right? And I'm leveraging, let's say, a Verizon data or AT&T data as like a source to connect with audiences, right? Mm-hmm. Me buying that media, like, I don't per se I wouldn't get sued for that per se. If the users who I'm trying to tap into, I don't think like the McDonald's would get sued. It would be more so Verizon and AT&T being sued, because they are the ones who kind of they kind of store the data, right? So only thing McDonald's is doing is just accessing audiences. It's saying like, hey, like I'm paying within my CPM, I might pay a premium to access this first party data, or pay a premium or $2 or whatever to access whatever this third party data company is. And all I'm doing, I'm just serving you guys ads, and hopefully I can get you to click on to draw an acquisition or a sign up or just hit a landing page, right? So the dollars that's being impacted, like, I mean, that really doesn't do too much for you. I think the tightening up comes from the data provider.
So do you think that data is going to be worth a lot more? Like say we talked about in the last pod, super influencers. Let's say I got 1 million followers. I could say I have all the data to these 1 million followers, right? And I can choose. I mean, that's a slippery slope, because you can lose a lot of followers if you kind of put it out there. But you could also say, "I'll give me $100,000 and I'll give you access to this data, and then I'll also for another $100,000." Do a marketing campaign for you.
Yeah, I mean, I think it kind of depends. Depending on what happens, like on the back end, and just like tightening up from a data provider standpoint, right? So, all of this stuff, AD talked about like regulations, like it's still kind of like the Wild Wild West. Like you really don't know something is a problem until it's a problem, right? And like I think this happens all the time. Like Facebook has gone through this, like Google has gone through this with just like the way they're tapping into audiences. Yeah. Like this happens all the time. Like this is big business, right? So I mean, it could be more expensive, but I don't know. Like I think it just depends. And then once, they make these changes, these updates, then it just becomes regular again. Like, so.
Any predictions in terms of something that could be disruptive to marketing in the early 2020s, or is it too early to see?
I think when it comes to marketing going forward, I don't know if it's a prediction or it's just a continuation of the status quo, but I do think more and more marketers are going to have to figure out how to create product-based kind of offerings as opposed to just, hey, here's a campaign. I think more and more brands are going to have to start thinking about how to control the narrative around their products. And I think more and more advertising agencies are going to get more into creating products themselves. I mean, you got one particular agency I'm not going to name because I got beef with them. I'm petty. It just say, they do a lot of work for Nike, right? But they're walking away from doing traditional campaign and they're doing this accelerator approach around I guess consumer engagement. So they're funding startups who they can more or less take that solution and either create its own little business out of it, or they can take those same cool things that we found in the accelerator and offer to their current clients, right? So I think it's going to be more or less more of that. And it's almost like a consulting kind of approach with some marketing and some experiential. 'Cause even a place some of these news outlets, they're getting more and more into experiential marketing, which allows them to collect data and allows them to engage your audience as well as sell, ultimately ads to those audience in the form of experiential, right? Because, you look at a newspaper, they're supported by advertising. Well, advertising now has to be something that's in person as well as capture data and allows you to re-engage that audience through some type of means and, ultimately allow that data that they collected to be accessed to all the advertisers. Yeah. So I think it's just going to be an evolution of the current. I don't know what the next thing is. I think the next thing is maybe the streaming services figuring out how to create these unique ad-like experiences that keep people on their platforms. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's not a traditional 15 or 30 second, 60 second spot. I don't know what that is, but it's something.
Yeah. I guess for me, I don't want to say prediction. I'll put myself out there on
Put it out there.
A prediction. I think
we called a lot of things on this
podcast. Yeah. I think a prediction is, and I think we kind of hinted to a little bit, and I know I've spoken about this before, but it's gonna lie in the hands of the consumer and understanding what that data means and knowing okay, this is how marketers or whoever are trying to target me,
right?
Versus having this device that has a signal that whether if it's cookies or whatever and it's capturing this information, how do I use this information that's for me to sell it directly and make money off of it versus just me paying the bill. And these people are not only taking money from me using the service, me paying for this Wi-Fi, this internet, and then they're taking that information and then they're selling it again. I think consumers, they're probably gonna get smart enough to say how do I become a part of this?
Yeah.
I think that's just the next step, right?
It's part of the adventure in the story.
Waking up in the Matrix.
Yeah. But aside from that, I think that we're gonna probably see opportunities, just more moments. I think the whole Popeyes shit, although it's funny as fuck to me, it was one of those moments.
That was a big 2019
That was
moment.
Wow. That shit was
big
crazy.
2019 moment, bro.
That was crazy. Yeah. So it's you can't even make that shit.
No.
But the people made that up.
Did.
Social media made that, right? So it's you get, I think it's brands are gonna figure out not, you can't make that up. It's damn,
the people just
it's
grabbed it and gravitated towards it.
So
I mean, you had Chick-fil-A trying to come at Popeyes on social, or was it? Was it KFC? It was one of those other chicken brands. Actually,
I think it was Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, they was beefing.
You know what they
should
have
have
done? Chick-fil-A should have cut 50 a check.
50 Cent?
Or someone who's famous for beefing, and then I think that would have been a cool someone who's known for beefing, and then just
I like the fact that those two brands were petty with each other, some rappers.
I kind of Wendy's has done that a couple times.
Wendy's they're great with.
They're really good with that.
They're good with that. Whoever runs that social, man, they epic. Man, look, they come at you like with like an arsenal of like comebacks. Like they whoever's running the social
Is a good writer. Good.
Not only are they good writer, they know how to play the dozens
Yeah.
very well. I wouldn't fuck with Wendy's on social. I leave them alone, bro.
One prediction, I think that huge brands can learn a lot from, like AD said, product service companies. Just because, like, one experience today, for example, I made reservations for dinner at a place, and like I think it's through I can't remember the app, but like they had my number from the call ID or whatever, and I was like, hey, I want to make a reservation for blah blah, and they were like, oh yeah, so blank, and they told me my first name and my last name. I was like, oh, okay, crazy. And like I know that there's a lot of restaurants are starting to connect through kind of restaurant apps, so you can make reservations. And I guess since I did it on one app for one restaurant, it's starting to kind of connect me to different restaurants, which they can start. Not that they will, but they can start to create a profile and be like, hey, he loves fish, and this is the kind of wine he likes. And they could be like, when I get there, oh, hey, Mr. Stallion, would you like a glass of Pinot? Because we know we know you drank that at your last restaurant experience, or something like that. But I think it might be expensive for big brands to do it, but I think there's a pocket and space for brands and for people to personalize things.
Well, American Express
lot more for people.
American Express bought Resi. I think they bought Resi last year.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's the app I use, Resi.
Yeah, if you use Resi, you now got a credit card, financial services, right? Credit card, buying a booking app, a reservation app, which is basically that's data acquisition, right? So the more
you gotta sign up with your name,
100%, and if you more likely you're gonna link your card to it. So with you don't
even have to pay. You could just walk out. We'll charge you.
Well, yeah, I mean it's fun. Look, the company
you got to pay, but
it's like it's the Uber kind of thing. You just dine and dash. You don't have to worry about like transacting. Like it just does it, right? Yeah. And it's funny because that's something we thought about. At my current job, like that kind of experience, that frictionless experience, and the only way to do
Amazon's doing that a little bit.
Yeah, with their stores, right? So the way you do that, you connect the card to an experience, and people don't have to think about it.
Yeah, man, and
I like that, connecting your brand. If you take card out, connecting your brand to experience, and it's seamless now.
Yeah,
like you don't have to make the extra step to think about it.
Yeah,
and the reality that if you ever see that American Express card breakdown, like all your activity, like that's another thing. Like in addition to that, because like that's being sold, and that's how target segmenting is being created, and that's how.
Now I'll just say, as much I think American Express doesn't have the best points, but I love their app experience, and I love the experience of dealing with their customer service.
Yeah, American Express
that they're paying us for this.
No, we're gonna end this conversation real fast until they cut a check. But no, like American Express really, for me, it's like, damn, I go out this much. You know what I'm saying? Like it lets you know like that pie chart, and it's like, yo, bro, you might want to.
I would say American Express and Chase does a good job of showing you how much activity you've been doing in your consumer journey. But yeah, man, I think that's. Is there anything else that happened in 2019? Nah.
It was a blur.
So blur.
It was a lot.
All right, I think. Also, just one other prediction about 2020.
Trump gonna win again. I'm coming down here. I say.
Oh yeah, we know that.
The numbers are there, bro. I don't want it. I hate to admit it.
We know that though.
Let's just be real about it.
I mean, because like if I think we did a breakdown of like social media, and we looked at all the people who have like a name, who has like some
if you monitor everyone who's running and look at their social media,
anyone who has some stake in the game, it's like if you compare Trump
got 68 million Twitter followers and 15.8 million IG followers.
That's pretty impressive.
It's impressive. Sanders has 8.8 Twitter followers, 3.9 IG. Warren has 5.5 million Twitter, 2.2 million IG. Biden has 4 million Twitter, relatively speaking, 1.4 IG. Obama, who's not running,
Who's not running?
Who's not
And,
running
and
at
who
all.
hasn't endorsed anybody yet?
He hasn't endorsed anybody. Obama alone on Twitter has 111 million Twitter
He's the
followers.
most. He has the most followers on Twitter, period.
Period, right? And he has 25 million IG. Like, I'm just throwing that out there.
But here's one thing, and
Nobody's beating Trump
we're
unless
not
Obama
Obama
runs today.
stands, but if you look at Obama's marketing, like, all right, you said it on a previous pod. Trump has been campaigning since Obama's era to when he won in 2016 to now. And if you look at Obama, he still kind of campaigns in a way where if you look at his every year, hey, my top songs of the year,
My favorite books,
my favorite
my
movies
top
of the year.
books.
So like he's not politically charged, but in
He
a
should
way
be.
he's marketing himself to keep himself relevant, but he's also using relevant tools. He doesn't go to the New York Times and
Don't
do an
have to.
article for the year. He
Don't
goes
have
on
to.
Twitter.
Does
Yeah.
Twitter.
And
He
his
goes to where his people are.
and his cosign is like crazy.
It's
Like
ridiculous.
to get like I follow like Torre.
He'll get a free meal anywhere.
Yeah, like I follow Torre on IG, and Torre was like, "Wow, like I think Obama started following him, and he was like, damn, Obama's following us, like, yo, like we made it, bro."
Yeah.
Like, so just to have that cosign and him being in that list of my top books, my top songs, my top, like that's crazy.
I don't know, man. I hope, and I can be this in my podcast. I don't give a fuck. I hope somebody do beat Trump. I just don't see it happening with these numbers. This dude has been campaigning since before he was president. He's still campaigning. He was campaigning the day he got impeached.
Look, bro, with the electoral college still being in place, there's no way
It ain't-
Trump is like.
he was
There's no way
campaigning.
Trump is losing, bro.
He was campaigning the moment he bombed Iran. He was still campaigning.
Well, when there was a lot of
man.
I think a lot. If you notice, every
don't
time there's
care.
a Democratic debate, he goes to a
small
base
town,
to a base, and then he does like a little rally.
Yeah.
So
Places-
he's smart. He doesn't.
Places that them other people won't go.
Man, it's like, look.
He did.
That's true.
It's just.
That's why some people they found themselves on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
Because they thought that the last time around that the people they're affiliated with had those places on lock, and it's like, yo, it's a new time.
Look at Obama. Like, nobody was not going to outbeat or outraise money. No, when Obama was like president, because he had like mad social following. He was like the first president to actually use social media.
Yeah,
to
and
actually
he had a lot of
engage
celebrity backing.
He did.
And banks backing.
But
and
he really took micro funding.
he did something. Oh, sorry. Finish that
He
point.
took micro funding and made it popular. He also reached out to a lot of people, grassroots work, because he hit the ground running. But let's be honest, his social media strategy was the model. And now you look at somebody like, well, Hillary could have taken that, but that's a whole nother ball game because she got a lot of followers, but she didn't. Her impact is not there. You look at this Trump,
And also
guy.
too, I think Hillary. The problem with Hillary had is
Trust.
people who didn't like Obama. Yeah, I would say that trust. Because people who didn't like Obama was like, all right.
She had a narrative
he's-
problem.
yeah.
I don't care, bro.
Storytelling.
Like, we can say the trust thing. She had a narrative problem. And
I think, storytelling.
because come on, dude. Trump was. They had him on tape talking about grabbing by the pussy, and
Well,
he still became president.
But Trump does a good job of saying, hey, man, I'm just a
narrative.
small town
It's-
Queens boy
It's a narrative, bro.
who made it
It's a narrative,
from
bro.
the bottom.
And y'all
Bro.
Queens niggas is mad. Excuse me. Y'all Queens motherfuckers are like petty.
Bro,
Jamaica Estates, man.
Eddie.
He's from Jamaica Estates.
when Trump got impeached, right? Bro, your man's put out he put out a message and talking about the haters, and he was like, "Pray for me." I was like, only a rapper.
Only a rapper would say that.
Only a rapper would
Yo,
say.
you know what's funny?
Man.
Not that it's funny, but
This shit is-
but
this-
af-
yo,
after
crazy,
after
yo.
Crazy.
after the feedback he got from the bombing of Iran, he put up the American flag, and people on Twitter were like, "Oh, he's throwing up his set."
God damn, that's hip hop.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh
Like
my
it,
God,
it's,
that's terrible.
it's a
That's
crazy
terrible.
connection, but
That is
it's like
terrible.
like when people
Yeah, I get it.
he kind of
set claiming.
he's kind of doing a Suge Knight.
Yeah, that's terrible, bro.
Suge Knight 96
Yeah. 95, 96 Source Awards.
Yo,
Damn, it got quiet just then.
No, yo, one other point I was gonna say about Obama really quick was he kind of took the Kennedy approach where Kennedy used the medium at the
the
time,
time,
which
right.
was TV,
Right.
and he was on TV, and that helped with his election, and that's what Obama did. And then also Trump took that playbook, and he also has there's some guy, I forget the guy's name, but there's a gentleman who worked with Putin who has kind of helped
Don't hack us.
Trump's campaign.
Yeah.
and I just want to preface this by saying we are in no way, shape, or form
Endorsing
him.
No,
we're
just
looking
talking
we're looking at
strategy,
we're
man.
looking
We're just
at-
being objective.
We're looking at it strategy and
The
objectively.
strategy. Hey, okay, so this leads us into, you asked about predictions, right? Like going forward. Like let's just take this current world right now and let's just jump to 2024. Let's just go ahead. I mean, because I don't know what's going to happen in the next 4 years. I just know that we are in a weird world that super influencers are actually winning. It's weird, but they are. So, do we look at going forward like, we got this celebrity president. Is it possible for yet another celebrity to just step into that? Because let's be honest, celebrities overall, Kylie Jenner can technically be president if you go purely off like her being a celebrity, right? And she got more followers than anybody out there. Like she got like what? I can't even remember her numbers. They're nuts. They're ridiculous. She got more followers than her sister.
Yeah.
So are we in this weird world that the super influencers or these elite individuals who can influence people are like literally like the new monarchs, the super influencers? Like they're like, could not just influence like culture, but we talking about policies.
I think so. I mean,
That's
I think
scary.
I mean, I don't know
think
if they
so.
would run, but I think
They
have
said
a
about
big,
Trump though.
right.
See, that's another
Like,
thing.
that's
We
what I'm
gotta
saying, like-
stop underestimating shit, bro.
Yeah, like, and then you gotta understand, like,
It takes a lot of time to campaign.
You gotta
That's why
understand, like, younger people, right? Like, this is just everything's moving forward.
It is.
So, like, in 4 years, the world will be different. In 8 years, the world will be different. And in 12 years, the world will be different, right? But
Right.
all those young people who enjoy going online just
Yeah.
to go in people's lives to
Yeah.
troll, like people, I've heard young dudes say, yeah, if Kanye ran for president,
They'll vote for him.
I'll vote for him just to be just to
That's
troll.
a troll, man. Yo, that is dangerous. That's dangerous, though. And it's funny because if I'm a brand and I'm looking at like
they vote for him just to troll.
just
Bro,
to troll because
this
people
is-
fucked up.
You
like
laughing? Keep laughing.
That. See, yeah, keep laughing. And see, that is exactly.
It's funny because
that
people
is-
will do that.
That is exactly
people
the
would
problem.
be like, "Oh, you know what?
Bro.
He not gonna win. I'm
Bro.
gonna vote for Kanye."
Bro, I can see there be a challenge. It's gonna be vote for Kanye challenge
Yeah.
where people go in the booth and they're gonna be recording
I
themselves.
mean, if you look, but if you look at
hitting
it,
the switch.
he's
Let's
going.
do it.
He's going to. Not to say this is political campaign now, but he's going to churches now.
Yes.
He's going straight to people.
Yeah.
And if you look at
He running with Joel
He went
Osteen.
Joel
Christians,
Osteen,
if
yo.
you look at evangelical
Bruh.
Christians, those are like the
I'm
influencers and the people.
At heart,
who
I try
influence
to be a
campaigns.
person who think about the next step. And my thing as a creative, ironically, I like to read shit like Art of War. The one thing Art of War teaches you is not to ever underestimate anything.
I gotta reread that 2020.
And, the sad thing about it, man, like everything from brands to the American people always underestimate the people. Right?
You're right. People underestimated Middle America
Yeah, and they voted
and
for damn
people
Trump.
who wanted their coal jobs back.
That was my original point. When I
Yeah.
started talking about people who forgot,
Yeah.
like they were found
So you're
themselves
saying
on the
the
outside.
youth?
Yeah.
No, I was talking about Hillary Clinton. I just didn't want to say her
okay,
name.
my
The
bad,
reason why,
We used
in
to-
my opinion,
Yeah.
she couldn't beat Trump is because the Electoral College, and he spoke to people
spoke to that
she
shit.
didn't speak to.
Right.
So I remember I heard her say something crazy like, "Oh yeah, like when it comes to some sort of policy, oh yeah, Bill, he did great in that. I'm gonna let him take care of that." Like what?
Which is weird because
What?
Any
What are you
Republican,
talking about?
any Republican at the time could have easily did exactly what he did. They just didn't do it,
Right.
right? And it's like, yo, we got to stop underestimating everybody, even as a brand. Like,
Bro.
if you talking about I'm brand X, I need to never underestimate the power of the consumer because every time you do that, the consumers come out with a campaign of their own, and shut your shit down.
Perfect example
Yeah.
that we went through. Chick-fil-A and
Yeah.
Popeyes.
Yeah.
They underestimated Popeyes. Like if you
Yeah.
think about like overarching branding,
Popularity.
right? Like
Yeah.
top 3 things that you think about Popeyes, top 3 things that you think about Chick-fil-A, it's probably split in 2 different directions.
Yeah.
Probably split in 2 different directions. But you know what? At the end of the day, like, I think it was a lot of, I haven't even had the sandwich, but I'm just saying, like, for a moment, I was like, yo, is it crack in that shit? Like, what is in there?
Crack water.
What's in there?
Crack water.
Oh, man.
Yeah, GMO chicken. I don't know, bro.
Meanwhile, kids are still being detained.
We are in a weird world, bro. And I just feel like we just can't underestimate anything. And we got to start taking, unfortunately, even the trolls to a certain degree. And look, come on, dude. 6ix9ine is out. Who would have predicted that?
He's about to be out. So a couple more predictions. Entertainment wise, 6ix9ine and Bobby Shmurda. Bobby Shmurda's supposed to get out end of 2020. And well, he's more of a New York based, but Wavy Crockett, Max B supposed to be getting out. Who you think? And for people who don't know, just do the research. Out of Tekashi 6ix9ine and Bobby Shmurda, since they're the same age, who do you think would have a more not successful career, but a more, I guess, more people will. Yeah, let's go with that. Successful.
6ix9ine. For everybody talking about. Bobby Shmurda, in my opinion, is a better, I guess, MC if you want, or rapper. But 6ix9ine, everybody, yo, you got mainstream America talking about Tekashi 6ix9ine, bro.
That's true.
Mainstream America is talking about. You got like late night hosts and possibly Ellen and Oprah and motherfuckers like them.
SNL.
Yeah.
SNL made had did Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Yo, I just thought about this, right? And it's like all the hip hop purists.
And he's a troll.
Right. All the hip hop purists, I was talking about, like, even at the radio stations, and they're talking down about this young man, Tekashi 6ix9ine. And it's like, oh, like, because they always compare him and Bobby Shmurda. Bobby Shmurda did an extra couple of years, so someone else. So his homeboy's time can be reduced. That's an honorable thing. But in my mind, I'm thinking about that, and I agree. That's an honorable thing if you're living that type of lifestyle, right? I don't live that lifestyle, so I probably shouldn't even be talking about this. But I thought about it. I was like, damn. Again, here we have the trolls.
A troll.
So like we have all these Ebro and all these hip hop purists, and it's like the trolls want to do everything that's the opposite of that.
Yeah.
Because you're telling me what to do.
Yeah.
So it's the same effect where I was talking about when I heard someone say, like, yo, I would vote for Kanye just to troll.
Just to troll.
So I don't know.
That's terrible, bro.
I'm just giving a perspective. Like,
while wearing their Yeezys in the booth and get the photo.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
And the Great America hat, too. Make America Great hat. Because people fucked up, they'll do that.
No shape, form, or fashion am I co-signing anything Tekashi do. I'm just looking at it objectively and like where we are.
Wait, here's the thing. I wish more people like you would actually look at things a little bit more objectively. Everybody's reacting to things emotionally.
Right.
And they're not taking the time to break things down and be a little bit more objective with the thinking. They're just reactioning because it's a feeling, right? It's like, look, understand who this person is, why they're doing it, and how they are actually winning.
Yeah, I mean, I think Rose does that a lot.
Well, yeah.
When like anything viral gets,
but we
kind of
paid
chat,
to do that.
We get shared in the chat, and I'm always like, let me take a step back to you get the full story. You can't always react.
Yeah. I mean, and then you got to think about it. Last thing I'm gonna say, and I promise I'm done with this.
Yeah.
But
I got one more thing about 2020.
If you look at like Tekashi, right, and all the people who are like listening to this music and the streams and everything, like, most of those people aren't gangster people either. Like, there's just like kids.
I mean, if you look at most people at a hip hop concert,
right?
It's not
exactly. No. So that's an even better.
Or festivals.
So the thing is, those
Coachella ticket costs $450.
Exactly, and they got money to get in there. Now, those rules don't apply, right? Like
they don't live that life.
Exactly.
They just want to hear the story.
Exactly. So him snitching. Does it really matter to the troll babies?
That's
like does it matter to the trolls?
Yeah, that's like people watching a Scorsese film and they're like, I'm not a gangster, so I don't play by those rules. I'm just watching it for entertainment.
Right.
I'm just entertained.
So, and if you're talking about entertainment now, don't get it like, I think Tekashi, I don't think Bobby was out long enough for me to be like, oh well, if who's more entertaining, but Tekashi had a run for being entertaining. So
yeah, Bobby had the hat that never landed,
and then he's stepping on the ballroom table at like some.
But
was
but
wild.
would Bobby be the guy who try to troll like known gangster motherfuckers?
Nah.
I don't think so.
No.
But
I'm talking
point,
about consumers though.
I think
Like at the end of the day, I'm talking
I
about
think
consumers.
if
Like
they're
I don't
both-
think they care.
I think if they're both out, I think they'll both be quite successful because I think people would work with Bobby Shmurda to get at it'll be like a Chick-fil-A Popeyes thing.
Exactly.
It'll be like, all right, you wanna buy this kid's music? All right, we're gonna work with Bobby. We're gonna make sure he has the Gucci Mane come back where like his albums popping and he just got out of jail and all this other.
Maybe that's the whole point of all this shit. Maybe we're overthinking all
Yes,
this.
and we absolutely are. Because like honestly, like as a a person who be like, yo, if you had to pick one of the two, like if I had to pick, I'd probably ride with Bobby just because of like the honorable stuff that's supposed to mean something to people that live that life, and what the reflection of the music is like because they both was kind of talking about similar stuff.
Yeah,
but I mean, I'm older than them. It don't really matter to me, but I'm not gonna co-sign either one of their behavior. Like I'm not co-signing their behavior, but
So, just one last thing, another prediction: streaming. And always I bring this up is
the streaming wars.
I'll put the link in the bio, but Netflix just is trending right now. But Netflix just announced a bunch of original content and movies that are dropping in 2020, and
with Eddie doing something,
I guess,
right?
I think so. Probably.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting looking at it in hindsight. I don't have the numbers. Well, this will be another pod, but I wonder how successful Disney Plus is doing, because I know a lot. I haven't heard a lot of people saying they have it, and it. I don't know if I mean it just started.
They're playing a long tail on this one, bro.
So it's kind of hard to tell, but I feel like Netflix.
I
thought Netflix was gonna die, but they're doing good.
I think all these streaming services are gonna do fairly.
It's gonna become cable.
Yeah, I mean, look, Disney is playing a long tail. They got a big catalog. Plus, they own half of Hulu and ESPN. Right? Netflix can be edgier, obviously, than Disney. Disney has Hulu. HBO, you can get that directly without having any type of cable.
HBO is another outlier, and FX,
Epix.
think those are two.
Everybody is doing that
Killing
thing. And here's the funny thing: the cost to operate those are like what they call the zero margin, because they're not shipping a tangible thing, so they can more or less take a risk because they're not shipping DVDs, they're not shipping packaging and distributing tangible things to consume. Yeah. So all this stuff is kind of like, it don't work.
Cloud.
It's in the cloud. It don't work. All right, put another one out. Oh, this work? Cool. Do more of that. Oh, this don't work? Take it out and do something else.
Yeah.
So that the cost, the cost to actually explore and potentially explore that. It does. It's zero if you really think about it. I forgot the guy's name.
It'd be interesting to see
the zero cost economy. It's a whole book about this. I forgot the name of this guy. I've got dad brain going on, but it's a whole book called The Zero Cost Margin or Economy, where this idea of just putting out like experiences and content is pretty much zero margin because you're not shipping physical things, so they can experiment with this shit and nothing happens.
Jeremy Rifkin.
Yeah, him. Jeremy Rifkin got
Zero Marginal Cost Society.
Yeah. This notion of like the fourth industrial revolution, something around that, right? And it's just literally you can use the Internet of Things, or cloud, or whatever, to put out anything, and if it doesn't work, you can like put something new out, and it keeps going. It just keeps going.
I think it'll be interesting to see the influencer culture and everything. One thing we didn't talk about that was a big thing in 2019, 2018, Fire Festival. Nice. And we're not going to talk about that because we talked about it on another pod. But interesting enough, taking a L supposedly and making two different documentaries and putting it on two streaming platforms.
Yeah, dude.
Again, the Popeyes. I'm gonna keep using that. The Popeyes, Chick-fil-A. Momentum of like, you know what, we're gonna take this thing, the Fire Festival documentary. We're gonna create competition.
Yeah,
which I think is a big thing. If you don't have I forget who said it, but if you don't have a competitor,
create one, right?
Because then you give people a choice.
Yeah, that's kind of that's business.
Hey, that's a good way to
wrap it up, right?
Licensing,
Trump,
man.
everybody. Yeah. What?
No, I was saying licensing. Like,
Oh, yeah.
The reason why like that is able to exist like on both platforms.
Insane, right?
Yeah, but the funny thing is, AD and I were talking about this. They were slightly different documentaries.
Yeah.
Same footage.
Same content.
Same content. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
All right, man. I'm looking forward to 2020 and the next decade. And anything else?
I'm just gonna stay my ass at home, man.
I'm gonna stay
man, I'm gonna stay out these people way. Like Rose said, I'm gonna stay at home. Like I'm just gonna see what the fuck happens.
Same here.
Yeah.
Rose, any thoughts? Sign us off on.
Nah, man. You know, it's consistent with me, so stay out their way. But yeah, man, Abro is closing out. No soft talk when it comes to telling the truth.
Yeah, man. Thanks for joining us.
Protect your neck.
Join us again on the next pod. Peace.
Peace.